What up YouTube, I'm back. So this was an amazing Boku no Hero Academia episode. Since the beginning of the episode, the animation was great. I don't know what they did, but it was so fluid. You know, when we saw the two big villains fighting each other, it was so fluid. And we even saw the police officer, the way that he was moving, it was really good, man. They really did well on this episode. But yeah, from the beginning of the episode, it was great, and I knew that we would get an amazing one. So yeah, man, let's get right to it. So for the first time, we saw Nejire Hado fight, and it was amazing. I really like how her costume looks. I really like her design, her hair, everything about her I like. Even her quirk, even though we don't really know how it works, it was pretty cool to see. And she was able to kind of defeat the two big ass villains by herself, one of her attack was called Green Wave or something like that, and she was talking about levels, so it seems like she can boost her levels of attack by 30 or something like that. It's kind of interesting. We don't know a lot about her quirk right now, but we're going to talk about it a little bit more later in this review. But it was great to see her in action because we only saw one member of the big three actually fight in the last season of Boku no Hero Academia, and that was Mirio when he fought the entire class 1A, so now we got a chance to see Nejire Hado, one of the members of the big three, in action, and it was amazing, man. So Nejire is doing her work studies with the 9th ranked hero. Her name is Ruikyu. It's kind of hard to say, but her nickname is basically the Dragon Hero. We don't really know what she does. She hasn't fought in this week's episode. She was just watching Nejire, Uraraka, and Froppy in action, so maybe we'll see her in action in next week's episode, because there's something big coming up that we're going to talk about at the end of the review. But she's the 9th ranked hero. I thought it was cool to at least see her, even though we didn't see her fight, just seeing her and a female hero and ranked in the top 10, it's kind of great, so hopefully we'll see her in action really soon. Obviously, like I said, Froppy and Uraraka was on this work study. They're actually working for Ryukyu or something like that, my bad, in the same work studies as Nejire Hado. Obviously, Nejire Hado called for them so that they can do their work studies with her. So that was kind of cool, and they actually helped a little bit to knock the enemies out at the end of it. So that was pretty cool, man. They're gonna have a lot of experience after their work studies, and they're going to become stronger heroes. So I can't wait to see the results. So like I said, we basically know nothing about Nejire's quirk. The only thing that we know is that her quirk is named Surge, and we only saw an attack or two, so we don't really know anything. And from what we've seen, she talked about something from a level 30, so it seems like she can boost her quirk by a large amount, so that's the only thing that we know so far. I don't know why they didn't explain her quirk. Maybe it's going to be explained later in this season, because she's going to be really important, and that we're going to see her fight against a really strong villain. I don't know, but yeah, man, hopefully we'll know soon. Anyway, the beginning of the episode was action-packed like we all saw, but the thing that I was really interested in was the discussion between Shigaraki and Overhaul, because these are the two main villains of this season, and it went well, I guess, because in that shot right there we can see that the aides of Overhaul, they weren't pleased with how Shigaraki was saying things and what he was asking for, so that was one of Overhaul's aide. His name is Quonostasis or something like that. My bad if I butchered the name. It's kind of hard to say, but we don't know anything about him so far. We don't know if he has a quirk. We only saw him with a gun, so I'm wondering if he's that strong and if he'll cause problem for our heroes. Then there was this guy. I don't know if he's actually human or maybe overall created him by some laboratory experiment. I don't know, but his name is Mimic, and he's a crab or something like that. He can generate a big ass arm, which is kind of crazy. So yeah, man, I don't know what he is. I don't know what he will do, but it seems like he's pretty strong. So we'll have to see what's gonna happen with him. But yeah, he's really, really weird, man. He's one of the weirdest characters that we've seen so far in the Boku no Hero Academia series. But yeah, obviously 2 episodes ago, Overhaul came to Shigaraki and the League of Villains and asked them to go under him because he wants to be the boss of the League of Villains. And then in last week's episode, at the end of it, we saw Shigaraki come to Overhaul's hideout to discuss some of the conditions of that alliance. And in this week's episode, we learned that Shigaraki doesn't really want to be under Overhaul. He wants to be like a partner, and the other things that he wanted to know was the plan that Overhaul had, you know, to go against the heroes. So that was kind of cool, a cool discussion. You know, I really like how Overhaul discusses things and how he talks. You know, that's one of the things that I like about him so far as a villain. But they talked a little bit about the plan, I guess. There wasn't a lot of things revealed, but we remember when they first encountered each other and when they kind of fought, quote unquote. There was something that happened where Compression Man or something like that wasn't able to use his quirk because he was shot by something. So we'll talk about it more later in the review, but that was really interesting. Now, we saw other work studies with Kirishima and one of the members of the Big Three, Tamaki Amajiki. And like I said earlier in the review, before this episode, the only member of the Big Three that we saw in action was Mirio Togata when he fought Class 1A in Season 3. But now we saw Nejire fight, and later in this week's episode we saw Tamaki fight. And you know, Tamaki Amajiki, aka Sasuke, because without his costume he looks like Sasuke. We saw him in action. His quirk is manifest, and basically what he eats he can manifest, you know. So we saw him manifest octopus, eagles, we saw him clamps or something like that. We saw him manifest all of that, and the reason why he was able to do that is because he ate that earlier in the day, I guess. You know, I don't know how much time he needs to be able to manifest these animals, you know, but you know, we'll see. But yeah, that was kind of cool to see him in action. His quirk is really, really weird, one of the weirdest quirk that we've seen so far in my opinion, but it's kind of cool, you know. I'm wondering if he eats a bullet, can he shoot a bullet, you know, I don't know. But yeah, it was kind of cool to see him in action. Obviously he's kind of shy, so you know, sometimes he shies away from what's happening in the episode. But yeah, I kind of like how the Big Three has different personalities, you know. While they were arresting villains, one of them actually shot Tamaki with a kind of drug that can neutralize his quirk, which is kind of interesting, man. That's the same kind of drug that Overhaul's group shot Compressing Man, you know. That's the same kind of drug that they shot at him. And now, because of that, for a minute, Tamaki wasn't able to use his quirk. And then later in the episode, when Kirishima was fighting one of these villains, the same villain that shot that drug, there was a drug that can amplify a quirk that the heroes and the society already knew about. It was created so that people with a weaker quirk could, you know, maybe use their quirk more and maybe, you know, augment their quirk, you know. So I guess now it's illegal, but one of these guys actually used that drug and fought Kirishima, and for a while I didn't know if Kirishima was strong enough to fight him, but he used one of his new technique. I don't remember how it's called, but he got stronger, man. He got harder, pause, But yeah, man, he got really stronger. I really like his new form. He can only use it from 30 to 40 seconds, so he'll have to use it really quick. I don't know how much he can use it in a day, but it's something special, man. I didn't think of that when they were training to get their quirk stronger, but I knew he could maybe get stronger, he could get harder. Pause again. But I didn't know that he could get that strong. That was an amazing part of the episode. He was able to basically destroy the blades that villain was creating easily. So that was kind of cool to see Kirishima in action, have his own moment for one of the first time in this series. We saw kind of a flashback that we'll probably be revisiting later this season, but it was great to see Kirishima in action. Plus, one of the things that I really didn't think about is these students and these work studies can actually become famous. We saw how Kirishima was trending on the internet because of what he did and saved the people. We saw that, so I didn't really think about how the students can become famous even before they really become sidekicks. So that was pretty cool. So maybe we'll see Deku become famous, Bakugo when he'll be able to do the work study. Same thing with Todoroki. So we have to see what's gonna happen with that. But yeah, that was kind of cool to see how Kirishima, with one save, with one thing that he did, was already becoming famous. But he was doing his work studies under fat gum. His quirk is fat absorption, so he can basically absorb anything possible, which is amazing. But yeah, man, he wasn't ranked, he wasn't in the top 10, but I guess because Tamaki is going under him, I guess he's a pretty big hero. He's, no pun intended, but he's a pretty strong hero. So I guess that Red Riot, aka Kirishima, is gonna do well under Fat Gum. So earlier in this review, we were talking about a drug that amplified quirk, and we saw it at the end of the episode with Kirishima. He fought one of these guys that used the drug to amplify his quirk, and it was really big, man. It was a really big dose. But it seems like the plan that Overhaul and that Shigaraki will have, it will be a drug that decrease a quirk, that make other heroes unable to use their quirks. So that is really interesting. We'll have to see how this works, but I'm guessing that Mirio will have a big part in this arc because when he uses his quirk, he can't really be touched. Same thing for Kirishima. We saw it in this week's episode when he used his quirk, even though he was shot, and didn't work because he was too hard. Pause. But that's pretty interesting that something like that is coming in play in this season, man. And we didn't know that there was a drug that could amplify a quirk, but now that we know it, I kind of find it okay that there's one that decreases a quirk, that make it impossible to a person to use their quirk for a moment. And if there's something like that, maybe that one day there'll be a drug that permanently erases the quirk of someone, kind of like Eraserhead, but like really permanently. That would be crazy. Before this week's episode, I really didn't think about those things, so it's kind of crazy. I should have thought about it, but the world building in this week's episode was amazing, I thought. So shout out to the creators, man. That's some big things that they just introduced in the series. Anyhow, we all know that Sir Night Eye said to Mirio, Deku, and his sidekick that they were going to work with other firms so that they can investigate Overhaul and his group plus the League of Villain. And we saw that in this week's episode, the work studies that Uraraka and Froppy is working with is going to be working with Sir Night Eye in his firm. So I think her name was the Dragoon. The Dragoon hero is gonna be in these investigation with Nejire, Uraraka, and Froppy, and then Fat Man, I think, or Fat Guy, I don't remember exactly, is going to be in this investigation too with Kirishima and Tamaki. So we have all the members of the big three plus some of the members of Class 1A like Kirishima, Deku, Uraraka, and what's her name, Froppy. So that's gonna be interesting to see in next week's episode, man. It's gonna be amazing. We are going to be introduced to other heroes, so I can't wait for that. But yeah, man, hopefully we'll see other members of Class 1A. We know that Tokoyami is going to work with the third rank hero. I don't remember his name exactly, but that's gonna be interesting when we'll revisit that. But yeah, man, it was a great episode. I can't wait for next week's episode. It's gonna be amazing. Let me know what you thought about this week's episode in the comments down below, and let me know what you think is gonna happen next. I do Boku no Hero Academia Season 4 reviews every Saturday, so subscribe for that. But I also do other anime related things like Black Clover reviews on Tuesdays, Dr. Stone reviews on Fridays. Then, like I said, Boku no Hero Academia reviews early on Saturdays. Later at noon, I do Sword Art Online Alicization War of Underworld, and later that day I do One Piece review, so stay tuned for all of that. And then I do Boruto Naruto Next Generation reviews on Sundays. I didn't do the last 2 episodes because it's hard, man, waking up to do to watch a review, to watch an episode at 5:30 a.m. Eastern and then do a review. It's kind of hard, but I'm gonna do my best for next Sunday. But yeah, man, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. It would help my channel a lot. And follow me at Anime Specialist on Twitter and Instagram. But yeah, man, it was a great episode. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Anime Specialist out. Peace.